Hey Sedge, what are you working on?
Okay, so when you guys left here last weekend, I started to do some workbench maintenance. I just bought some Crubber.
Crubber.
Yeah. And as I was doing this, I said, wow, this would be a great opportunity for Big D to learn about contact cement.
Okay.
Okay, well, what I'm gonna do today is we're gonna line a vise. I was turned on to this stuff last year before, when I was building my mocks on vise. Okay, and lining the vise, I used to just do wood to wood, but you know you would get a little slippage in there. Okay, so I used to line my vices with cork. Okay. Years ago, I did a vise, a small steel vise. I made some magnetic clamping jaws with some leather. That worked out, so you don't mar the piece you're working on. But mar. Okay, so I bought this stuff. I think I got it at IKEA, and this is sticky back cork. And over the years, I had it on this vise here and the tail vise or the twin vise. Okay. And it started to degrade on me. When I built my mocks on vise, once again, Benchcraft had sent me this stuff, and they call it Crubber. And I was like, okay, I'll try it. Oh my God, this is the best stuff since sliced bread. You could just see the grippiness. Come on in here, Chris. When I just do this, and I mean this, just look at this. There's no movement, so when you cut a dovetail or whatever, okay, you're sawing, or this is, I just use my mocks and vise pretty much for sawing, hand sawing. It's fantastic.
That's cool.
So, when I was doing this, like I said last Sunday afternoon, I made a template for here. What I did is, and I want you to see this, and we're gonna do some maintenance on this vise right now. I'm gonna open it up, okay, and the stuff that was on the back of that cork, I scraped the cork off.
Okay.
But the stuff that was on the back, the sticky back tape, really stuck to this, so I had to scrape all of this.
Oh my.
And what I want to do is I want to remove the vise completely, and you'll understand why. Because once, with contact cement, you have very little room for error, and I'll show you a couple of tips and tricks I've learned over the years of applying it. So what I want you to do is, we'll get a shot underneath, but you'll see here, there's two registration rods, and this is your screw. It's a big Acme screw. Okay, these are in the front of the vise very tight. They're milled in very tight. Okay. So it prevents the vise from racking as we're clamping, okay? Okay. But over the years, I've done little or no maintenance. The stuff has worked out great. I put a little lubricant on the registration rods and the screw. But we're gonna remove this right now, okay?
Let's do it. Isn't there?
So once again, Big D sure makes this job look easy.
I work so hard for the money.
Okay, so as Big D stopped right here, this is the Acme screw, and here's your two registration points. And I can see there's a little oxidation here, so we'll do a little bit of cleanup. So Big D's gonna finish doing it. So this, when we start to put this back together, this will engage first, then the registration rod. So you'll see as we do this, and it's gonna come out right now. Good. How's that? Perfect?
It's okay to grab it by the rods.
Yeah. Good. Cool. And just set it right up here. Cool. So what we're gonna do here is, you'll see where it's a little, you get the oxidation here on these alignment rods, and you can see there's a little bit of grime in there. So let's clean this out. And I was gonna get a couple of support blocks right here and set it up, but I just checked this out. I think we get enough support.
Oh, nice.
Right in here like this, and I'll just close it down. And this will make it easier for us.
Yeah.
As well when we're applying the contact cement. So I like to use this Scotch-Brite and just start cleaning this. I mean, we don't have to go gangbusters on this, but just clean it up a little. Here, I'll have you do this one, because that has the most. Okay, and just clean it up a little like this. Pretty good. You did a good job, man. Okay, I like to use a little bit of mineral spirits to clean that off. Okay, those rods, because you'll see that you'll take a lot of that black stuff that's still on there. Okay, see, look.
Wow.
So clean that off.
Showroom shine.
Yeah. Okay, that takes that all off. Because if I would have just sprayed lube on that, some dry lube, what would have happened is it would just gum up over time. So the other thing we're gonna do is pretty simple, is we're gonna go like this in the threads of this Acme screw, and you'll see it. Just is a good stiff plastic brush. Down here, not so much, but up here. Okay, and we'll just go around it. And you know what? This is a lot of fun, so I'm gonna have you do it.
I bet.
You know what's really cool? It's having Big D in here to do all the hard labor. Okay, so we really didn't need to do that, but what I wanted to do was just, we had it out of the front, so why to do the crubber, but why not do some quick maintenance on it? We're gonna let this all dry up. Okay, now we get some residual stuff there. Okay, so I'm just gonna do this. Perfect. Perfect. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna trim the crubber. Okay?
Oh boy.
This is the top, and I made a template last weekend, and this is where I stopped. This is the exact dimension. Now, this is the top right here, right? Okay, the template's gonna work with twofold. It's also gonna help us clamp today. Okay, while the contact cement just makes better contact.
Okay.
But I thought about this, and I've done this before, where, yeah, I guess I could have taken the rods out and done perfect circles, but I'll never use the bottom of this.
Right.
Okay, so why not just make it super simple like this? And this will be a great clamping aid too. Okay, so there we go. Let's step over here. And we're gonna do some first dimension cuttings. I'm gonna make a few marks. I'm gonna leave a little there. And I'm just gonna make a couple of marks here, okay? Just so I know where to cut.
So
and also right here.
About 3 millimeters, 4 millimeters, or a 1/4 inch on the back there.
Yeah, kinda. See how that just came off? Make sure you have a sharp. Okay, and then I'm gonna flip this over, because I'm actually gonna use this as my straight edge. There we go. We can do the final trimming afterwards. I'm just gonna take that. I love these knives, because I can get right up to an edge. Just like this. Okay, good. Now here, okay, doesn't matter which side's top, but we know this is gonna be my bottom now. So I see how I'm gonna leave that little up top there for final trimming. So I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna get right in here on the template. See that?
Wow.
I'm gonna have you do these two.
Okay.
Okay, so.
I don't think I got all the way through on this one. There we go.
Now, next is I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna stab it here, stab it there, and stab it there. So I know where my marks are. Kinda, sorta, right here. And see how that just pops right off?
Nice.
Yeah, I brought it up. We'll do a test cut. But there's that, and there's that stab right there. Okay, and let's just do a test fit. We'll bring it right in here like this. Boom, boom, exactly the way I want it. And we'll make sure that, remember, when we put the contact cement on, we're gonna put it on here like this. Then we'll do our final trimming.
Sorry.
No worries, no worries, no worries. Good thing we can edit, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Good. I'm gonna take my Sharpie here.
So you know that's the back.
Yeah, do you know why? Because
It doesn't line up.
it won't line up if I, right?
Right.
Okay.
All right, we're all scrubbed in. What are we working on?
You laugh. Every time I put on a pair of gloves, I think about a Minwax stain that came out one time. It was called Midnight Blue.
Oh no.
And it had a lot of dye in it. I could not clean my, I don't care what I used, but I could not clean my fingers enough, wash my hands. I think I was washing my hands with rocks, trying to get that blue out. And it stayed, that pigment stayed in my fingers for a month. People go, man, aren't you gonna like clean up? I go, I've tried. So I'm kind of whenever I'm working with glues or especially staining, I'm gonna wipe it on. Always wear gloves. That's a great tip I can give you. Okay.
Tip of the day, kids.
So I used to use a lot of contact cement on mica tops, and boy, have I had some hiccups with it. So what I'm gonna do is, this is some of the Crubber that's left over. I'm gonna show you what contact cement actually does, and we're gonna apply it on here, and then we'll go and apply it on the vise. Yes, you have to apply it on both.
Okay.
This is gonna be our test sample right here. So let's open this up. I just got this at one of the big boxes. I think I got it at Lowe's. Okay.
Still fresh.
Holy moly, is this good. Okay, so one of the things I'm gonna show you is chip brushes too. I probably use these in a few videos. This is a throwaway. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to apply a little of this right here, just so we have it as our sample.
Okay.
The other thing I can show you about contact cement is make sure you spread it even. Okay, I'm gonna put some on here because this is, you have to put it on both surfaces, and make sure that you have a very clean area to work in. Okay, so I'm gonna apply it on this face. Okay, and these are just our test samples. Okay, in other words, I have seen, and I made this mistake, I made contact with both pieces right away. No, you have to let it dry. You have to let it tack up.
Okay.
Okay? And the other thing is there's a very little room of error because you've put it on this surface and this surface. So when we apply it, it better be aligned correctly. And that's why
it's not moving.
It's not moving. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make sure, and when I say always maintain a clean area, I don't want that on my Crubber to hit the vise. So we're gonna move this over here.
Okay.
Okay, and we're gonna apply this. I'm gonna start and then I'll have you finish. But you can put it pretty liberal. Okay, but make sure it gets all on there. Okay?
Edge to edge.
Edge to edge, and try not to come off the edge because we gotta maintain that clean work area. Sometimes a light lets you see.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, like right here. And you just gotta be careful because you have some here. You don't want it to go onto the face.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna pick this up like this. We didn't get any on the front, and I'm just gonna lay it right over here like this, out of the way. Good? Okay, so now comes the fun part. Okay, so let's also, we have to, not also, but we have to apply it to this face. And I don't want it leaking on the front. And I'm just gonna gum it on there. I'm gonna get kind of light around here. Okay, but I'm gonna coat all of this. And it's that simple. And once again, you gotta let it dry. Or what we call tack up. This is where people, especially with mica tops, you know, countertops, they don't apply enough of this and they leave spots. So you'll see sometimes it's a little spongy.
Yeah.
For mica top. They didn't get enough contact cement on there, or they didn't roll it out. We want even pressure across there. So there you go. We'll let it tack up.
All right.
Okay, so this is why you make samples, all right? If we can come in here, I'm just gonna rake the light here. See how it's tacky here? Okay, still a little wet there. That's okay, that's okay. These are just about right, but let's look over here. Look how it's drying or flashing off. It's thick here, that's perfect. It's, okay, this is what I did first. And see how it's just drying. Okay, so what we're gonna do, and this is why I want to do samples, is I'm just gonna take this now, and as I put it on here, okay, once you tack it on, you're not moving it, there's no room for movement.
Wow.
Okay, here, I'll let you try one. And that's why we put the X on here, so we know which side.
Which one's the sticky side.
Just stick it right on there, and you'll see. Pretty good, huh? So, you got it down to a T?
Hey!
For tool, right?
No, I should say.
I should say so.
But look at that. See that? And that's on there.
Hey, we made some Crubber art.
And look, that's on there, everybody. Hey! Okay. So you can see we're ready.
Oh yeah.
Nothing's coming off of my hand. This one seemed a little wet, but nothing's coming off of my hand. Now, here's where it's gonna be fun. This is what I call do or die.
Oh gosh.
Hold that just like that. Okay, so this is Crubber that we don't have, and I'm just gonna toss this, but where's my blade? Right here. What I'm gonna do is, I used to do this with, we had these layout sticks for mica, because if you have a long countertop and you're laying that down, you roll it up to lay it down, it's not gonna line up. So what you do is you put something that doesn't have any contact cement. Okay, I'm just gonna cut like 3 pieces here. Okay, and look, this won't stick. Okay, and I'm gonna put them in critical spots. Right here, and right here.
Okay.
So we're gonna do it just like this. I'm gonna have you help me with this. I'm gonna get it through these. Okay, and I'm gonna bring it down. Okay, see how that's not gonna touch? So what I wanna do is, crucial alignment is right here, right?
Right.
But I wanna make sure it's up at the top, right? Remember? That's where we want to trim.
See our overhang.
Okay, and this is going to be just right. So I'm going to have you put pressure there. See, now look, as I do this, see how that's down there?
Yeah.
I'm going to slide this out and do the next spot, because this could get angled as we do it. And that's what it prevents. See that?
Yeah.
Okay. And
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I'm just going to bring it like this. We'll slide this one out. I'm glad I waited so you could learn about contact cement on this. Okay, and there you go. There's your adhesion.
Wow.
Okay, we don't have any contact cement on here, so I'm going to take it to a next step. I'm going to take this. Okay, I'm going to slide it in like this. Okay, and we'll put a couple clamps on here.
Sounds good.
Okay, while we have the template in the clamping position, the Crubber is protected. I think this might be a good time to get some lubrication on the Acme screw and these alignment rods. Does anybody have any lube?
I got you lube right here.
All right, you guys all know I like this stuff. It's a dry lube. I get it, it's from Blaster. And a little's a lot on this, so that's all it is. Look, just a little's a lot. And just coat all the surfaces. And I'm just gonna put a little dry lube on here.
I guess the only question I have after all of this is, what exactly is Crubber?
Yeah, I guess I didn't say, right? Okay. So think of it as cork and a nitrile rubber combined. And you see how cushy it is and how it grips. Okay, there's a couple places you get it. I called out Benchcrafted earlier because they sent it along with it. I can also get it at Lee Valley. So there you go.
All right, Sedge, what's next?
Okay, check it out. I wanted the Crubber has set with the contact cement, and now we got to trim it. And it's pretty simple. We're going to use this, and we're going to trim right to the edge. And this is the top edge, right? We'll just peel that right off. See that? Cuts really nice. Just get it out of the way. And we're going to trim both edges here. So I'm going to take this like this, bring it in, make sure it's nice and flat, and trim it. Okay, good. I'll let you trim the back edge there, D.
Okay.
Bring it just like this. I just want to support it completely, just like this. And this one's giving me a little hiccup, so I'm just going to trim that. And then I'll have you, and this is the difficult one, trim this back edge.
All right.
Okay. You got it? Okay, now remember, this is my vise, and don't mess it up.
But here's the most difficult one to do.
Yeah, you know what's cool about it? It's also the bottom, so no one will see mistakes.
I like the sound of that.
I know you do. Okay, so now we're going to put the vise back in there.
Okay.
All right. Once again, your alignment rods. But if, from underneath, we saw that we're going to engage this first.
Okay.
So it's pretty simple. But I want to make sure, see this? You get it in there, there's very little room for error. Okay. We're going to get this in here like this. Okay, now, starting to engage, but here's where you're going to be careful. This is starting to rack. So if I go like this, look, it's tight.
Yeah.
You gotta keep going like this until those rods engage back in those bushings back there. Big D is turning it in, and you'll see as he brings it in, look at that. Look at that. Nice and solid. So I think that was worth the time to do a little vise maintenance.
Yeah.
And apply the new facing on the jaws of the vise.
Crubber.
Crubber. So, as we always say,
Be positive.
stay sharp.